So I'm going to use LinkedIn to network. I'm turning it into a practice. I'm owning the advice and not being lazy around the idea of that there's this magic pill that a guru can tell me and it will all go away. No, practice. Practice your rehearse the principles and make them yours, because we all have our own secret formula. Nobody has your formula for success. No one has your formula for happiness. No one has your formula for fulfillment. It is uniquely different for you. And when you embrace that, you'll stop looking outside of yourself for the answer as opposed to some advice to help you shorten your learning curve in finding your answer, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's another gem that you share there. You know, you take the principles and apply them to you as the unique you, because none of that is the same. You know, just like you say, you know, someone can apply them differently depending on who they are and their attributes as a person. There's no right or wrong, but the principles are still core and they stand, in the journey of success, whatever that means.
Can I ask you a question? Do you like curry chicken?
Yes,
do you like?
I do.
Right. So yesterday I was making curry chicken, and I make a mean curry chicken. So we have a curry powder seasoning. I asked my daughter, okay, I'm making curry chicken. You love it. Should I use this curry powder? And she says, yeah. I was like, no. If I get it in the bottle, already prepackaged and made, it's going to come out horrible. It's not going to taste the same. I said, if you look on the back of the curry powder, it has coriander, it has ginger, it has garlic, it has turmeric, it has like 10 different ingredients. And I had all of the ingredients out. And I said, I'm going to make my curry. You see, I like a little bit of red crushed bell pepper in mine. I like crushed red peppers. I love a little bit more turmeric. I love just a slightly less ginger, but more garlic, right? I like, instead of 2 teaspoons of sugar, I like 4. I like mine sweet. And I said, because I understand how to break apart this principle, curry powder, into the things that mean something to me, I am now a chef. I'm master of these ingredients. It's mine. I can mix and match them how I see fit, and I can make this beautiful dish called my life. But so many of us want the curry powder already pre-configured in a jar, ready to go. But it ain't gonna taste the same. It's not gonna work the same until you break it apart, become a student of the ingredients, in other words, practices to make them yours. And that is a key component in my opinion.
That's an absolute powerful statement. I mean, even for me, hearing you speak and understanding this principle, a lot of stuff is just resonating with me as well, where I had gaps about the things that I want to do. And I see people doing things in a particular ABCD, and they're being actually successful in those ways. But to some level, I think it's slightly different to how I would do it because of the person that I am on ABCD. But from what you're saying, it doesn't necessarily mean I can't be successful in that. I can actually do that in my own way, following those principles, and create my own unique brand that is me. And that's an absolute golden nugget, actually. Thanks for sharing that, X. So now, if we go a bit deeper into your brands, the rise of a leader and lead your story. Just tell us a bit more. First, the rise of a leader. Tell us a bit more about that and how
Rise of a Leader is our leadership program that we do inside of organizations to help them to build strong leaders and strong teams. And like I said, at the ground floor, it's about being able to communicate a unifying ethos and culture around who we are and what we value, and helping leaders to not only project that story to everyone else, but also helping everyone else in the organization to project their story to create this, what we call story synergy. We also turn that same story into something that we project into the marketplace through our company, Lead Your Story. So Lead Your Story, we talked about being very unique in the marketplace. Well, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of agencies, marketing agencies in the world. Well, why choose X and Lead Your Story? Well, we're the only marketing agency that I know of that combines the idea of building strong leaders and teams through culture with branding, right? So we help you to build that brand and your culture by helping you come together around a collective story that signifies who you are to the world, but also allows you to lead your company in a very specific way. And I give you an example, and this is one of the best examples I can give because I love this guy, this client of mine. He's a lawyer. And the reason he runs this big law firm is because when he was 8 years old, he was evicted. His mom lost her house. He was in and out of foster care. She went into depression. Like it just really ruined his family life. And he said, when I got older, I vowed to never allow anybody to come after people I love. So his whole firm is about protecting people when someone's coming after their money, their livelihood, or their reputation. So that's his story. And that's why he's the lawyer he is. And he shares that story and he closes deals. Not his Harvard degree, not that he can win cases. All lawyers say that. He gets the big clients because when he tells that story, they know that he means business when he says, I'm going to fight for you. So they believe in him and his firm. That's awesome, right? But also he uses that same story to bring his culture together. So we bring all of his people together and we say, well, when was the time in your life when somebody came after your livelihood, your reputation, or someone you love's money? Do you know anybody like that? And then people raise their hand and say, yep, I remember that. Somebody, come on, I remember that. Yeah, somebody just sued me yesterday. Now, everybody in the organization is sharing stories that bring them together around this unifying idea of who they are. So now from the mailroom all the way to the top at the CEO office, everybody's unified around this idea. We fight for those people when someone's coming after their money, their livelihood, and reputation, and nobody does it better. And everybody believes. That's why they're winning, right? So we help you to create that ethos, that brand, and help you to communicate that internally and externally through our programming with Lead Your Story.
Wow, that's very powerful. Very powerful. Thanks for that, X. And so Rise of a Leader, so you're combining that building of a business and building of a people into brand. Just tell us a bit more about that as well. It's, you're combining the two through your Rise of a Leader and Lead Your Story as well.
Yeah, so as I alluded to previously, it's the idea of coming together around an ethic, an idea, and a story around who you are and what you value. And now it's about challenging leaders and teams to live that story, not to just talk about it, not just to say this is who we are and we have a tired old mission statement that no one can understand or repeat or memorize. No, this is our story, and how do we bring that story to life every single day in everything we do? So whether we're talking about customer service, whether we're talking about leading and managing, we want to know what type of leading and managing and customer service we want to give as an organization. And that's our leadership, our culture building programs. But we also have found that, like I said, that story, that unifying idea of who you are, can also be communicated to the marketplace. Because, and let me back up and tell you my theory on who's going to be the winners in the marketplace, and this will be relevant to entrepreneurs listening. There are the middle 80% of people are losing in the middle because they are losing out to these two extremes. Big businesses who can trade at scale. Think Amazon. They don't need huge profit margins. They can trade at scale through economies of scale, low prices at volume. Very hard to compete with big businesses. The other winners are those who build brand. Brand isn't really about the product or the price like Amazon. It's more about how the people feel about the brand. So think Chick-fil-A, or think the small coffee shop in your neighborhood that Starbucks can't put out of business because people love the brand. They're emotionally connected to the brand, beyond product, beyond price, beyond function, facts, and figures. It's how the brand makes them feel. Well, if you can't build brand feeling and you can't be a big business trading on functionality, you are in the middle, treading water, just surviving, and being decimated as these two ends start to exert even more pressure. So if you're a company and you, for example, I represent a college, right? Colleges across the country are being decimated because young people are finally waking up and saying, yo, I don't need college. I can go get a job without it. Well, now you need to find a way to build brand. It's not just about college education. It's about the way we do education. It's about the way we treat our students. It's about the way we build community beyond the function of a degree. If you don't have that, or you're not a big business college, like where you trade at scale, you're going to lose. You're going to go extinct.
Yeah.
So my thing is building brand, authentic, unique brand, to where you live it internally through your leadership. So it's not just something you're talking about, but you're also projecting and communicating that to the market to build business and to build connection, deep emotional connection with your marketplace. You do that, you dominate. You're not susceptible to market conditions. And so many businesses and entrepreneurs right now are struggling because they just don't have a brand. They're really good at what they do, but they don't have a brand. So they're just a choice among many.
Wow. So, but I guess building a brand, that's something that takes time as well, isn't it? You know?
It does. But I think if you're an entrepreneur and you have a service, I was just telling a young lady this yesterday at an event. She makes candles. And when she started, she was like, it was much easier. The pandemic crushed it because all these people with all this time decided they wanted to become candle makers. Yeah. And I was like, well, what's special about your candles? And she struggled to tell me. She's like, they smell good. I was like, everybody's candles smell good. Yeah. Well, I use a special wax. Well, as soon as you start saying you use a special wax, what is everybody else going to do? They're going to do it too. She was like, well, what do I do? Like I said, you're going to have to build brand. So she's a young African-American a woman. I was like, what are you going through? Why do you build candles or make candles? She said, they help me to relax. I'm under so much pressure and all this other stuff, and I'm going through life. I said, do you think the other women who buy your candles are going through the same thing? She was like, yeah. I said, what if you told stories each month about what motivated you to create this unique scent for this month? And you put a story to it that talks about the experience of an African-American woman going through X, Y, and Z. And that was a handwritten card that was printed with each monthly subscription. You think people will want to buy your candles then? Would it be about the candles, or would it be about how they feel about the brand? And how many people can now repeat or copy that? She started to really get it that brand is not about the functionality of your product. It is about the feeling that someone gets when they consume it or engage and build camaraderie and community. So it can take time, but you can build connection almost immediately once you understand what your brand is about. And then do a quick experiment. Do an experiment. Like she's running an experiment. She's doing this new monthly thing. She's going to take all of her clients that are on her list, position a monthly new service, right? Get a subscription, and then ask everybody, do you know any other African-American women who are going through this who would appreciate that? I said, you'll double your business in just a few weeks.
Wow.
So brand can take time, but once you hone in on it, it can grow pretty rapidly as well.
Really rapidly. Wow. But, just like we talked about before, probably takes the understanding of a mentor or a coach or someone like yourself, X, to actually bring that in people by asking specific few questions, because all of this is already in the people. They have the story. Like her, she has the story, but she didn't have a way of actually bringing it out until she came into contact with someone like you, who actually knows how to bring that out of people. Yeah, is that fair to say?
I think having access to someone who can ask the right questions at the right times is monumentally helpful. But I won't say it in a way that makes that the excuse or the barrier.
No, I think it's just amazing, all the stuff that you are actually sharing today with us on the podcast. Now, I mean, for you, obviously, I think you've talked about these two extremes of the big business and the brand, and how everyone is being squashed in the middle. And for most people, actually, they are being squashed in the middle from the lack of awareness of specifically what you've shared, that they are in between these two. And once they probably realize that, they can seek the brand and how they can actually build that. But aside to that, I mean, what do you think, in your experience as well, are other like big challenges facing small businesses out there from actually making it
I think at the end of the day, it just comes back to those things. Like, we've reached a point where it's very hard to maintain competitive advantage based upon having the best product. Yeah. The moment you have the best product, literally something way better than what's out there, what's going to happen very quickly in the marketplace? People are going to copy. They're going to duplicate. They're going to remanufacture. They're going to create something that is similar. So maintaining competitive advantage based upon best product is not only hard to do, it's very expensive to stay ahead of the pack.
Yeah.
So I tell small businesses, stop trying to be the best. You are putting a unnecessary bottleneck on your business by trying to be the best in terms of the actual value delivered, the functional value of what you're trying to do. Instead of best service or best product, let's focus on best story. Because humans don't buy based upon functions, facts, and features. They buy based upon feeling. So you got to ask yourself the question, how do I create irreplaceable feelings that are connected to my products and services? Yeah. If you're not trading on feeling, then you're trading on function. And function, like I said, is very hard to maintain. It's very hard to stay ahead of the pack. And you can kid yourself and say, I'm better. But even if you are, let's just say you are, everyone says they're better.
Yeah.
So you still don't have anything to really stand on.
Yeah.
But once you start creating a brand feeling around these great products, your business will 10x just like that. So focus, I tell best story wins, not best product or services.
Yeah.
What is a story that you can communicate that will start to create an emotional connection to your customer base? And how do you communicate in that way with consistency, day by day? We talked about that. And then also with some intense, experiments around branding to really get your name out there. Because if you're not getting attention on you, your brand, and your service, and you're not creating emotional connection, you're always in this very vulnerable place of being a commodity. And it's just not a place that you want to be. You can eke out a living, but that next level of growth and expansion and scale and impact, it's going to be most likely through you building brand, emotional connection with your marketplace. If you could do that, you'll be all right.